Thanos. The name itself strikes fear into the hearts of heroes across the galaxy, a name synonymous with inevitable destruction and the eradication of half of all living things. But let's be honest with ourselves for a moment and look at the facts objectively. Thanos, for all his terrifying might, was a man of dependency. To achieve his ultimate goal, he required the 6 Infinity Stones, the primordial ingots of the universe's creation. He needed a massive, fanatic army of Chitauri and Outriders. He needed the Black Order to do his bidding. He needed decades of planning, manipulating events from the shadows, and playing a cosmic game of chess just to have a chance at victory. He was powerful, yes, but his power was external, borrowed, and ultimately fragile. Now, imagine a different kind of threat. Imagine a man who does not need to search for stones because he has forged power from the very fabric of magic and science. Imagine a man who does not need an army because his own intellect is a weapon more dangerous than any fleet of starships. Imagine a man who, without any gauntlet, without any cosmic cheat codes, and with nothing but his bare hands and sheer force of will, stood before a fully realized Thanos and ripped his spine out of his body in a single, fluid motion, reducing the mad titan to a pile of ash as if he were nothing more than a nuisance. This is not fan fiction. This is comic book history. And this is the man who is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. has returned. The internet broke, theories ran wild, and nostalgia hit us like a freight train when the mask was removed at San Diego Comic-Con. But if you think this is just a fun what-if scenario, or a desperate attempt to bring back the charm of Tony Stark, you are missing the terrifying reality of the situation. The face you saw does not belong to the savior who snapped his fingers to save us. It belongs to Victor Von Doom. He is not a hero. He is not a simple villain.
He is the god of the Marvel Universe in waiting. Most casual fans look at him and see a guy in a metal suit and a green cape, dismissing him as Iron Man but evil or fantasy Darth Vader. But today, we are going to dismantle that misconception. We are going to dive deep into the abyss of his psyche, explore the horrifying extent of his powers, and prove why Dr. Doom is the most complex, the most tragic, and the most dangerous character ever created in comic history. This video is a deep dive, a comprehensive study of a character who defines the very concept of indomitable will. If you appreciate this level of detailed analysis and want to see the MCU treated with the seriousness it deserves, please hit that like button right now to support the channel. It really helps us beat the algorithm. Now, buckle up, because we are traveling to Latveria. To truly understand the monster, we must first understand the child. Victor Von Doom's story does not begin in a high-tech lab or a cosmic throne room. It begins in the mud and the snow of Eastern Europe, in a small fictional nation called Latveria. He was not born into royalty. He was born a member of the Zephyro, a persecuted clan of Romani travelers. This context is crucial because it grounds his character in a very real, very human struggle against systemic oppression. His father, Werner von Doom, was a gentleman, a healer who believed in peace. His mother, Cynthia, was a woman of fire and magic. She was a sorceress who, unlike Doctor Strange, who learned magic in a sanctuary, tapped into the dark, forbidden arts out of desperation to protect her people from the Baron's soldiers. This desperation led her to make a deal with Mephisto, the Marvel Universe's literal devil. She sought power to liberate her clan, but as with all deals with the devil, it went wrong. She lost her soul to eternal damnation. Victor grew up with the knowledge that his mother was burning in hell. Let that sink in.
His formative years were defined by the metaphysical reality that his mother was suffering infinite torture, and he was helpless to stop it. Then came the tragedy of his father. The Baron of Latveria summoned Werner to heal his dying wife. When the wife died, despite Werner's best efforts, the Baron branded him a murderer. Werner fled into the freezing mountains with young Victor. Caught in a blizzard, Werner wrapped his only coat around his son to keep him warm, sacrificing his own life. Victor watched his father freeze to death, cradling his cold body until they were found. In that moment, the innocent boy died, and a cold, hard resolve was born. He realized that kindness, like his father's, gets you killed. He realized that relying on others is a weakness. He swore an oath that echoes through his entire history. I will never again be at the mercy of others. I will be the one who commands. This is the core of Doom. It isn't about being evil, it's about control. Absolute, total control. Because in his mind, lack of control leads to death and suffering. Victor's genius was apparent immediately. He combined his mother's mystical artifacts with his own scientific inventions, creating a unique fusion of sorcery and super science that no one else in the Marvel Universe has ever mastered. This caught the attention of America. He was offered a scholarship to Empire State University in New York. This brings us to the most defining relationship of his life: Reed Richards. When Victor arrived at university, he met Reed, the future Mr. Fantastic. Reed was friendly, open, and brilliant. Victor was closed off, arrogant, and brilliant. The conflict wasn't just academic, it was philosophical. Victor was building a machine, a trans-dimensional transceiver designed to project his astral form into hell to bargain for his mother's soul. Reed, looking at the calculations, pointed out a flaw. He told Victor, "This equation is off by a few decimals. It's dangerous." Victor, blinded by his own arrogance and his desperate need to save his mother, refused to listen. He thought, "How dare this American, this amateur, correct me?" He activated the machine. It exploded. The explosion scarred his face. But here is the critical psychological twist. The scar was relatively minor. It wasn't a skull-face monstrosity initially, but to Victor, whose entire identity was built on being perfect, that single blemish was catastrophic. It was proof of failure. He was expelled, and he blamed Reed Richards for everything. In his mind, Reed didn't try to warn him, Reed sabotaged him. This is the pathological narcissism that defines Doom. He cannot accept fault. He traveled the world, ending up in Tibet, where he found an order of monks. He mastered their ways, surpassed them, and then forged his iconic armor. In a horrific act of self-mutilation and commitment, he ordered the monks to place the metal mask on his face before it had cooled. The burning hot metal seared into his flesh, permanently destroying his face, sealing his fate. He ceased to be Victor. He became Doom. Now, let's talk power. And I don't mean laser beam power. I mean the kind of power that makes gods nervous. In the MCU, we are used to categorized power sets. Thor has lightning, Hulk has strength, Iron Man has tech. Doom has all of it and more. His armor is not just a protective shell, it is a nuclear reactor mixed with a magical talisman. In the comics, his armor contains splinters of the true cross to ward off vampires. Yes, really. It has force fields that have withstood blasts from Galactus. But his true power is his diplomatic immunity. This is where the realism comes in. Dr. Doom is the monarch of a sovereign nation, Latveria. When he comes to New York, he doesn't just fly in as a villain, he flies in as a head of state. He has a seat at the United Nations. Imagine if a supervillain had the political protection of a world leader. The Avengers can't just attack him. That would be an act of war against a sovereign country. This layer of geopolitical complexity is something the MCU desperately needs. He uses international law as a shield just as effectively as his energy fields. But let's go back to that Thanos comparison, because it is the most requested topic. In the 2015 Secret Wars event, which is the source material for the upcoming Avengers Secret Wars movie, the multiverse was collapsing. Every universe was crashing into each other in events called incursions. The Avengers, the X-Men, the cosmic entities, they all failed. They couldn't stop the end of everything. Who saved reality? Doom. He confronted the Beyonders, a race of omnipotent aliens who exist beyond the multiverse and were responsible for the destruction. He didn't fight them with punches. He created a bomb made of molecule men, a complex lore detail, but essentially living cosmic bombs, and stole their power. He took the power of the creators of the universe and became God Emperor Doom. He took the remnants of the destroyed Earths and stitched them together into a patchwork planet called Battleworld. For 8 years, he ruled as God. He replaced the sun with the Human Torch. The Thors became his police force. Even Doctor Strange served as his sheriff. And this is where the Thanos scene happens. Thanos, surviving the destruction of the old multiverse, approaches God Emperor Doom. Thanos is arrogant. He has the memories of ruling the galaxy. He assumes Doom is just another pretender. He refuses to bow. Doom gives him one chance. Thanos laughs. And then Doom reaches into Thanos' chest and pulls out his spine. No stones, no effort. It was a statement. I am not a king. I am not a conqueror. I am God. This scene is vital not just for the gore, but for what it represents. Thanos is a nihilist. He believes in death. Doom is a tyrant. He believes in order. Doom literally held the universe together with his will.
This brings us to a fascinating psychological question. Is Doom a villain? If you ask him, he is the greatest hero who ever lived. And the scary part is, he has evidence to back it up. There is a famous comic panel involving the panther god Bast. In Wakanda, to become the Black Panther or rule, you must be judged by the panther god. Bast looks into your soul. If she sees corruption, lies, or unworthiness, she devours you. Doom, wanting the vibranium of Wakanda, enters the trial. Bast looks into his soul. She sees the millions he has killed. She sees his tyranny. But she also sees something else. She sees the future. Doom shows her 1,000,000 possible futures for humanity. In every future where humanity is free, they destroy themselves through war, disease, or negligence. The only future, the only one where humanity survives and thrives, free of hunger and war, is the future where Dr. Doom rules with an iron fist. Bast, the goddess of Wakanda, lets him pass. She confirms it. Doom's way is the only way humanity survives. This adds a layer of moral ambiguity that makes Thanos' random 50% genocide look childish. Thanos killed half the universe based on a flawed economic theory of resource scarcity. Doom wants to save everyone, but the price is their freedom. He is the ultimate, the ends justify the means character. Let's bring this into the real world. Think of the most efficient yet ruthless dictators in history, then give them the intellect of Einstein and the magical capability of Merlin. That is Doom. He eliminated crime in Latveria. No one goes hungry. Education is free and excellent.
The technology is 50 years ahead of the rest of the world. But if you speak against him, you vanish. If you don't clap long enough during his speech, you are gone. It is a utopia built on the grave of liberty. This dynamic is what makes the RDJ casting so brilliant, if handled correctly. Tony Stark was a man who started as a weapons merchant and became a hero by learning humility. He was a futurist. He wanted to build a suit of armor around the world to protect it. Doom is the dark mirror of that. Doom also wants to put a suit of armor around the world, but he wants to be the one wearing it. He is a traditionalist. He looks to the past, to lineage, to magic. Having the same actor play both roles highlights the thin line between the savior complex of Tony Stark and the god complex of Victor Von Doom. Perhaps in the MCU, Doom will be a variant of Tony who never got captured in that cave. Or perhaps, and this is my preferred theory, he is the real Victor Von Doom, but he chooses to wear the face of the Earth's greatest fallen hero to mock us. Imagine the psychological warfare. The Avengers are staring at the face of their dead friend, the man who died to save them, but behind those eyes is a cold, calculating monster who wants to enslave them. It would paralyze Spider-Man. It would break War Machine. It is the ultimate tactical advantage. Furthermore, we need to talk about his relationship with Valeria Richards. This is the humanizing element that makes him more than a robot. Valeria is the daughter of Reed and Sue. Due to complications with her birth, Reed couldn't save her. Doom did. He used a mix of science and sorcery to deliver the baby safely. He asked for only one payment: to name the child. He named her Valeria after his childhood love, whom he sacrificed to demons to gain power. Yes, he did that too. He sacrificed the woman he loved to get magical armor, showing his commitment. Valeria grows up calling him Uncle Doom. She is the only person he truly cares for. He would burn the universe to save her. This dynamic creates a bizarre triangle. He hates Reed, he covets Sue, he has always been in love with Sue Storm, and he loves their daughter. It is Shakespearean, it is messy, it is human. When we compare this to other villains,
they feel flat.
Ultron was an angry AI. Loki was a jealous brother. Kang was, well, complicated. But Doom is a man who carries the weight of his mother's soul, the legacy of his father's death, the burden of ruling a nation, and the absolute conviction that he is the only one smart enough to save reality. He isn't fighting the Avengers because he hates them. He fights them because he thinks they are incompetent children playing with forces they don't understand. And he is usually right. In the Triumph and Torment graphic novel, Doom recruits Doctor Strange to help him descend into hell to fight Mephisto for his mother's soul. In the end, Doom has to trick Strange and betray him to Mephisto to complete the deal. Strange is furious, but then he realizes Doom orchestrated the betrayal so that his mother would reject him. By rejecting her evil son, she became pure enough to ascend to heaven. Doom sacrificed his mother's love for him to save her soul. He let the only person he loved hate him for eternity, just so she could be at peace. That is the level of sacrifice Doom is capable of. Would Thanos do that? No. Would Kang? No. This is why Team Doom is a legitimate stance. So, as we look toward Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, we must prepare for a shift in the narrative tone. The MCU has been colorful, jokey, and lighthearted. Doom demands gravitas. You cannot make quips around Doom. If Star-Lord tries to dance off against Doom, he will be vaporized instantly. Doom brings a horror element, a political thriller element, and a dark fantasy element, all in one. His presence forces the heroes to grow up. The stakes are no longer just the world might explode. The stakes are reality will be rewritten by a man who thinks free will is a disease. To wrap this up, let's revisit the central question. Can he beat Thanos? In a raw physical brawl, maybe Thanos has the edge in durability. But Doom never fights a fair fight. If Doom is fighting you, he has already won 30 minutes ago. You just haven't realized it yet. He has analyzed your molecular structure. He has nullified your powers with a spell. And he has programmed his Doombots to target your emotional weaknesses. He is Batman with no moral code and Iron Man's tech wrapped in Doctor Strange's magic. So when Robert Downey Jr. steps onto that screen, do not expect I love you 3000. Expect I am Doom and you are beneath me. This is the villain we deserve. This is the villain who will redefine the genre. And honestly, he might just be the hero we actually need, even if we are too afraid to admit it. If this deep dive helped you understand why the internet is losing its mind over Doom, and if you are excited to see this dark, complex, and tragic figure come to life, make sure you are subscribed. We are going to be covering every issue, every rumor, and every frame of this new saga. The age of heroes is over. The age of Doom has begun. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the MCU will have the guts to make him the protagonist of Secret Wars, or will they water him down? I read every comment. Until next time, remember, hope is for the weak. Doom is eternal.